Olá pessoal, sejam bem-vindos a mais um programa Design Games Brasil. E hoje temos uma entrevista internacional. Bom, você que é dos anos 80 deve ter jogado muito Top Gear, ou já deve ter ouvido falar. E você que é dessa geração de hoje também, que gosta de jogos retrô, também já deve ter ouvido falar. Mas a questão é a seguinte, que o convidado de hoje é o Leitch, que é o compositor da trilha sonora do game Top Gear. Agora imagina só como que era compor trilhas naquela época, né, que ainda não existia o digital. Pois é, o Leitch ele não só compôs a trilha do Top Gear, como também foi convidado para uma produtora brasileira para fazer a trilha sonora do jogo. O jogo em homenagem ao Top Gear, que é o Horizon Chase. Bom, seja muito bem-vindo, Leitch, ao canal Design Games Brasil. É um grande prazer ter você aqui para contar um pouquinho sobre a sua história, sobre a sua trajetória, até porque você marcou uma época, uma geração, né? E vem inspirando outras gerações. Isso é muito legal.
Hi, I'm Leitch, composer of hundreds of video games, and I got some questions here from Canal Design Games Brasil. Hello Brazil, Canal Design.
Vamos começar com a pergunta. Como começou a sua carreira na área de jogos?
Well, that was a long time ago. That's like 31 years ago now. What I did was I made a bunch of demos on the Commodore 64, a bunch of tunes, and I sent them to every game company in Britain at the time. And I phoned them all up and pestered them all and said, hey, you guys should buy my music, it's really good. It wasn't very good, but I called them all up and eventually one of them said, yeah, I like this one tune you sent me, I'll buy it. So that was how I got started.
Aí pessoal, tá vendo? Não é fácil pra ninguém, mas é aquela história, você tem um objetivo, traça esse objetivo, defina a meta e vai à luta, não desiste. Muitas pessoas desistem nas primeiras oportunidades que são negadas, né? Eu acho que deve se correr atrás, deve persistir e vamos lá, faça como Leitch, não desista, vai até conseguir. Se você sabe dos seus objetivos, sabe do seu talento, da sua competência, vai à luta e traça uma meta e vai em frente. Bom, agora a gente quer saber como que foi produzir a trilha para o game Top Gear e anos depois, muitos anos depois, você ser convidado por uma produtora aqui do Brasil, né, que é a Games, para produzir o jogo Horizon Chase, que foi em homenagem ao Top Gear. Como que foi?
So yeah, by the time I worked on Top Gear, I'd been writing music for games for about 4 or 5 years. I'd managed to get a full-time job doing it. So I was working on, we were doing 10, 20 games a year. I was doing the music for it back then. And I worked for a company called Imagitech, and I worked on they did a whole bunch of games, and I did music for all those, and other companies would contact Imagitech and say, hey, can we use Barry to do some music for our game? Because we had music drivers, the code that enabled you to play music across all these different formats, each different computer. Commodore 64, Spectrum, Amstrad, Atari, Amiga, all the different PC sound cards that were just starting. So that was why people would come to Imagitech and ask to use me, because we had the music drivers. And one of those companies was Gremlin Graphics, who made Top Gear. 5 days and cranked the music out for Top Gear. And I never imagined at the time, at the time, the Super Nintendo was a new system to us. The manual for the sound development was all written in Japanese, Chinese, kanji. So we had no idea, no instructions on how to make music for it. So it was kind of trial and error. We found some source code, and I think the first thing I did was I created that arpeggio just to see if it would play. You know, how high can we play, how low can we play, and then started with the echo effects and stuff, and built the melody on top of that. But then, yeah, it got famous in Brazil of all places, which was incredible. It was about 15 years ago now. It was Nino Mega Driver. He contacted me and he says, "Hey, you know, I can play Top Gear on the guitar because it's like a really famous game here in Brazil." I said, "No, you can't play that on guitar. Nobody can play that. It's crazy." And he sent me a video of him playing it on guitar, and he's like, "You can play it on guitar. That's incredible." But that was the first clue I got that it was big in Brazil, because then I started looking on YouTube and you see all these other people started playing it on guitar. But yeah, the Horizon Chase people, the curious. It was a great honour to be contacted by them. They said, "Hey, we want to make a homage to Top Gear, reimagine it, you know, bring it into the 21st century and just make a fun game," which was great because driving games have got, I don't know if you've played any driving games lately, but they're not a lot of fun. You got to spend a lot of time dicking around with suspension and gear timings and all this stuff. I just want to play a driving game. I don't want to have to deal with this stuff. So yeah, they said, "Hey, we're Brazil's biggest game developer," and I was like, people develop games in Brazil? That was news. That was a surprise to me. But they did, and it's we got talking about it, and I started writing music for it, and it was really cool. I got to be a rock star for once. I got to be the guy that brought it alive. I think the soundtrack's very important in games, especially, you know, when the game's kind of simple. You need to have some good rocking music to it, and I think I was very, very lucky in getting to do that. It was really a fun project to work on, and to go back and just get to do all these crazy arpeggios and use all these retro sounds, the old 8-bit sounds. I mean, these were... It was technically challenging to make music back in the old days with the Commodore 64 and stuff. And now these sounds that we created were so unique back there, and people have them in their hearts from when they were children playing these games growing up. Now they can relate to those, and you hear them used a lot in dubstep, and even the new Jean-Michel Jarre album has some retro Commodore 64 sounds in it, which...
Bom, Leitch, conta pra gente qual é a maior diferença de produzir uma trilha para um game na década de 80 e a produção de uma trilha para game hoje, nos dias de hoje, com recursos digitais, né, essa tecnologia toda, né? Como que é essa diferença? E já aproveita para deixar uma dica pra galera que está entrando nesse mercado de áudio para games. Dá uma dica aí pra galera.
Well, the big difference is that now you have software. You can do it, and you can create all these... You have every sound imaginable to man in these tools that you have to create music. It's trying to create some kind of interesting square wave or pulse width modulating sound to create anything that sounded like an instrument. Otherwise it would just sound like a beep. So yeah, I think with the biggest difference, I think I spent more time looking for the right sounds for Horizon Chase than I did creating Top Gear from start to finish.
Bom, pessoal, estamos chegando ao final desse programa, mas tem as considerações finais. Leitch, fica com você as considerações finais e agradecimentos. Vai lá.
I think it's very, very competitive trying to get into the game audio market. It's just a matter of making demos. I would make as many demos in different styles, try and hone your craft. I mean, that's what I did. I learned along the way. started writing music, cranking them tunes out, and eventually you get better and better at it. You start to produce stuff that's not terrible. It's just like how to describe my music. But yeah, network, join some game development groups. It's going to be tough, and you're not going to get rich doing it, that's for sure. Never give up. I came very close to giving up when because I had my first game published at 16, first game soundtrack, and after that there was nothing, absolutely nothing. I thought that once I got one game published, that would be it, and that was it. I got nothing afterwards. So I ended up going back to school and staying in touch with some friends that were programmers and artists. I mean, our passion was computers, and they eventually they started working on a game, and I started doing the music for it. And so from there I continued on. That became my second game project, and I eventually got a job with a company full time doing it. So it's just a matter of not giving up. I came very close to giving up. Next thing, we would like to thank you for your participation and ask us to leave a message for future game designers and sound designers. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard finding the work, and you're not going to get rich. I think that's the hardest thing. You might get rich. I mean, out of the hundreds of people I've worked with over the years, and I've worked at several major companies, Origin Systems, Atari, Ocean Software. Probably only about 1% will get rich, and those are usually the guys in business side of it, marketing. Development staff usually doesn't see a ton of return. But the potential's there these days in the markets. I mean, we have these great the Google Play Store, the Apple Store. I mean, anybody can make a game and put it on there, and it can go viral. So the potential's there. But whether it's likely that you'll make money from it or not is another thing. It's unlikely that you would make money from mobile development. But yeah, follow your passion. If it's what makes you happy, do it. And don't give up. Alright. It was nice talking to you guys.
Leitch, muito obrigado pela sua participação no nosso canal. Pessoal, tá aí, uma entrevista internacional com Leitch. Vocês que trabalham com áudio, que querem entrar nesse mercado também, aproveita essas dicas, que são dicas valiosas, né, de profissionais que já estão há muitos anos no mercado, conhecem as diferenças, né, de mídias, né, na época do analógico, agora no digital, sistemas diferentes. Tem uma experiência bacana, né? Deixo esses recados. Vocês não desistam. Se você tem um objetivo, vai à luta. Mas também não adianta ficar de braços cruzados. Eu acho que é importante se especializar, procurar profissionais que estão nesse mercado, que já passaram pelo caminho das pedras, e pegar dicas, trocar informações. Hoje em dia o mercado está muito mais prático para a gente trabalhar. Afinal de contas, você consegue ter network com várias pessoas do mundo inteiro, né? Gostaria de agradecer a sua participação, Leitch, e gostaria de agradecer também ao Banzato, ao Herik Campos e a toda a equipe que ajudou a fazer a tradução dessa entrevista, né? E pessoal, vamos participar, vamos continuar interagindo, vamos mandar mensagem, vamos compartilhar o conteúdo. Isso é legal, a gente cresce a comunidade, a gente fortalece a comunidade, né? Como um todo. Pessoal, até o próximo programa. Valeu!